Just about.
Okay, hold on.
Hold that thought. Sorry, folks.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
Nice.
States of America, the republic which stands one nation under God,
Invisible, liberty and justice for all.
Okay, I need a motion to suspend the reading of last month's meeting.
I will make that motion, I'll dispense with the reading of the minutes.
Second, Kaylee, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, now I need a motion to accept the minutes from last month, December meeting. I'll make the motion to accept last month's meeting minutes.
I also, okay, that was second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, just, since I'm the secretary. Suspend. Okay. 485 Kennedy, come on up. What I'd like to do before you get started, I just wanna give a recap on how I understand where this project is, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay?
Okay,
You first, let's see here, attended the EAC meeting on December 18th,
that is correct.
okay? And, there was talk about a new design professional. There was engineering comments, I guess you were given. And there's nothing right or wrong about what I'm saying, so don't misconstrue me. So right now, the town is looking for comments, back from you. And the EAC tabled it. So now you're before the planning board. And for the first time, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Show is yours.
All right, great. Good evening, board members. My name is Keith Markey. I'm with Markey Engineering. We are now the design engineers for this particular project. Basically what it is it is a proposed middle building on the 455 or 485 Kennedy Road location. So what we have here is a 50 by 80 foot building that is being proposed on a site that is currently right now is basically what they have on there. And if you look at the aerials, they've got various equipment, probably older trucks, things of that nature. And that will be removed and this building will be placed in its place. Right now, the existing parking is approximately right about here. This will be all blacktopped. As part of the improvements with respect to this site, you're going to see a note that says drainage limits. Now, these drainage limits were proposed by Town of Cheektowaga Engineering Department. What they wanted to see was roughly a third of the existing parcel to be included as far as the drainage plan. Originally, we just had this area right here, as far as the building and so forth is concerned, but to appease the engineering department, we've expanded that to roughly a third, and I believe it's somewhere about 3 acres plus or minus that we're going to be dealing with the drainage on here. In addition, there's going to, at the current location from town engineering department, there appears to be some issues with respect to dust and water, standing water and so forth, not necessarily from this business, but from adjoining businesses in this area. What we propose to do is put a detention facility in here so that we can get rid of the water and get rid of some of that issue with respect to standing water, dust and so forth.
You said a retention pond?
Correct. Detention pond.
Detention.
Detention, not retention. Speaking with the engineering department, Town of Cheektowaga has an existing structure right located right in this area here, just to the outside just southwest of the whole building site. They were good with us taking the water that's being retained and discharging it into that structure. The overall site plan includes some snow storage area in this location. Enclosed dumpster location to the east of the proposed building. We have wall packs, this for lighting, as far as the lighting structure, we don't want to light up the whole area. They do have a light post just up there to the north of the proposed building area. Exactly right there. 1-inch water service, sanitary service. Now, one of the questions, I'm not sure, is the town regulated, the entire town regulated by Erie County Sewer, or is it just certain portions of the town?
I think certain portions, right?
Yeah, it's just certain portions of the
Certain
town.
portions?
Our sewer system is kind of piecemeal.
Is it? Okay, because we weren't sure if we would have to submit this to Erie County Sewer for their approval to tie in an existing sanitary sewer that runs along the west of Kennedy Road. Of course, with the water, we'll have to tie down into existing water service there, and we'll coordinate that with Erie County Water Authority. They'll request an RPC within the building, which we do have on one of our plans showing the details. I guess what we're looking for is just an acceptance of what we're planning on doing from the planning board and kind of go from there. Whoa, one other thing. One of the hard things about this, one of the little more unique things about this project is that along the outside edge over here, going right along through here, there's drainage ditch that's maintained by Town and Chief Water. One of the things that the town engineering department did not want to see is us draining directly into that, because that way we don't have any control, or the town doesn't have any control of what goes into there. So what I proposed was it's using a French drain style drainage system right along the edge of the existing and proposed additional parking right along through here, with the exception of locations at the entryways, the ingress and egress locations. That way, anything that's coming off will be collected by the French drainage system and will be deterred from anything that is with respect to the town of water system. And
So they're afraid of overflowing.
yeah, well, yeah, but the thing is with the DEC, the DEC has plans that they have. I'm sure many of you might be aware, may or may not be aware, with SWIP, stormwater pollution prevention plans. You know, the DEC likes to see everything consolidated and contained within the site.
Right.
And that, for that reason, that's why we proposed having a French drain system with a series of catch basins along here that eventually tie into that catch area. And that is it. You know, we're looking at, as far as landscaping is concerned, you know, we may follow whatever request the planning board may require with respect to landscaping. We were thinking right along here, arborvitae, something like that, just to kind of spruce up the location itself.
Let me interject because we're talking about landscaping.
Sorry.
The town has a formula for landscaping. So check with our town planner.
Okay,
He can give you the specifications of what we look for as a standard,
all right,
and then you can take it from there and add it to your site plan.
beautiful, perfect. Yep. But that is it as far as this project is concerned. We tried to appease everybody as far as specifically engineering department. Okay, with the drainage and so forth. Those were the big concerns in engineering, and I understand that because it's an important process.
I just have a couple of questions, then I'll open it up to the board. Could you put the earth view on this? Are there any surrounding homes on this, near this property?
I'm thinking here it is. These are mostly all Dan, are you familiar with what's across the street here?
No,
I can't remember if these are, this has to be, these two must be residential, I know this is business. Yeah,
yeah,
there you go.
But
nature residential.
basically, you're not adding any more trucks, you're not adding,
Oh, no,
changing
no,
your
it's not.
schedule.
What this building is for basically a storage and a small, office space, because they don't have the office space in their existing.
I apologize, are you tearing down a building or is this? Okay,
This is in addition to.
so you're gonna add this building, you're gonna store equipment in it, you're gonna have office space.
Yeah, office space, they may store a truck or two. You know, they're gonna have, I think they have overhead doors, we're not the architects on the building itself. So, but I got a general idea of what they.
And that's fine, that's fine. I was trying to get at, is there going to be any more noise to the neighbors over at what you have now? You're not,
They end at 4 o'clock.
yeah, you're not changing your
No.
business hours, okay. The second question I have is this site plan as you have it, I can't really see, is the detention pond on it,
On the actual,
on this drawing?
yes, this is it right here. Right in this area, cell shaped. Right in through here, it's called proposed detention area. It's roughly sized based on what we have to do with respect to detention for the 3 acres and the types of soil conditions that are there. We didn't give the exact as of yet because we're trying to follow one step at a time, as long as the board is comfortable with the way things are laid out. And this is basically our final step, would be completion of the sizing of the detention. But there's plenty of room to detain.
Have you gotten back any information from the town regarding these changes that you've put in place in response to their
I sent it out to engineering, sent it out to.
Okay, so there's still gotta be some discussion with you and the town, and there may be some tweaks to this site
Yeah, it
plan.
would be a little, like once we put this in, we had a meeting, Dan, when was that? Maybe a week and a half ago?
Yeah.
With respect to this?
Yeah.
Roughly a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. We had a meeting and we discussed the concerns of engineering in relation to this site. And, we took the advice of Dan and Rick.
So other than the landscaping and what you're gonna put in based on our requirements or our guidelines, there may be some minor changes to the site plan.
Just some tweaks.
Where's the access point for, here, let's stream. What's the access point for trucks?
There's actually 2 access points in this
Okay.
site. One is right up here, right in through there, and that's where a lot of their truck traffic goes through, that one. This one is right over here, another access point, that is mostly for employee parking.
So there's no access point on Kennedy Road, no planned access point on Kennedy Road where those 2 houses are. Okay, all right. I mean, the concern I would have would be truck traffic on a residential neighborhood, but if there's,
The truck traffic itself is not gonna change
okay,
in relation to their business. All that traffic will remain as is.
understood.
It's just, like I said, it's just, they need a little bit more space to expand for their business.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're being very considerate to the neighborhood too, just to be honest. So.
Thank you.
Question for you. In the right-hand corner there, you said that was a town building?
This right here?
Yes.
That is a town drainage structure.
Okay.
Right there. And again, as I said, we spoke with engineering, they had no problems about us, discharging the detention into that structure, they were comfortable with that. Of course, we're following any guidelines that the town has in regards to 10-year pre-developed, 25-year post-developed detention discharge.
And also earlier you talked about the dust. We were talking about dust with that. Are you doing any additional paving or anything that might cut that down or?
Yeah, it's gonna happen, it's currently right now, like I said, parking for here is probably worried about this area, we'll probably pave the rest of this over here. And, this is existing paving in here, and, the engineering department actually spoke about getting some more of that paved. So the owner was in acceptance with that as far as,
About how many employees do they have?
I think they got, during the summertime, I think it's around 65 to 70,
So that's why they have the parking.
correct?
Whereas this is not, well, one last question, when do you plan on breaking ground and starting to build? Do you want to build?
They would like to build, as soon as we get the approvals from the town, engineering plan, so forth, they would like to start as soon as it's,
I mean, this isn't a very complex project,
no,
but there are still a few loose ends.
yeah,
Okay, and generally, when we make a recommendation to the town board, the site plan has pretty much been finalized. Okay, I'm gonna rely on you saying that this is pretty much finalized except for landscaping, which is, you know, my concern, my main concern was the residents around the project.
right, yeah,
Okay, and since you're not changing any operations, any more trucks, any more noise, any more pollution, you know, I'm more inclined to, you know, make a motion or ask the board to make a motion to, you know, recommend the site plan to the town board, but it would be contingent if the EAC has any changes,
any
okay?
thoughts about it?
All right, regarding landscaping and engineering changes. And then if, you know, in the discussions, you do make some major changes to the site plan, you have to come back before us,
Understood,
okay?
that makes all sense.
So,
Yeah, what you see is basically, this is it. It's a 50 by 80 metal building. Just trying to appease.
no, we understand, we understand. Is there anyone in the audience that wants questions?
All right, Stan, I will make a motion for site plan recommendation contingent on EAC approval.
I second that.
Now, let me just, hold on, let me just add a few little fingers there. We need a negative declaration from the EAC, correct, on this project? Neg deck? I mean, you have it as,
Stan, to that point, yes, the EAC is not giving recommendation at this time.
B. And I'm not trying to force you out, you're gonna have to add contingent on the EAC issuing a neg deck declaration.
All right, I'll amend my motion for site plan recommendation contingent on EAC negative declaration and approval.
And any last minute
And any,
engineering.
and yeah, okay.
And don't forget landscape.
And any last minute engineering changes in landscaping.
I second that motion if it's corrected.
All in favor?
I,
Opposed? Okay, technically, you're not to come back before us, okay? Unless
There's a major.
Unless there's something that has been discovered that you gotta change the site plan?
Yeah, we try to adhere to everything that the town required.
Because once the EAC signs off on it, you should be able to get onto the town board agenda. They're the final decision, okay, just so you know. We make the recommendation, but the town board says yay or nay, depending on whatever parameters they use.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay,
Have a good evening.
all right.
You too. Bye-bye.
And, for December. Okay, then we have this motion. Okay, let me make my notes, hold on. Go through this, and I would assume we have to make a official tabling of the projects, correct?
Correct.
Projects that the developers have asked for us to table, so I need a motion on item number 2, 397 Cleveland to table. Kaylee, second,
I'll second it.
Ruth, All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? When you're ready, ready?
Mm-hmm.
555 Ludwig, developer asked us to table it. I'll make a motion to
I'll-
table.
I'll second.
Walter second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 3409 Broadway, the developer asked for us to table it. Make a motion.
I'll make,
that motion.
I'm sorry. I'll second.
Walter second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? 4868, just make a note that this was dropped from the agenda. This was added by accident, so there's no item number 5, it was dropped from the agenda. And finally, 2733 William, again, developer recommended tabling. Need a motion to table. Kaylee, second.
I'll second it.
Ruth, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, bless you.
Thanks.
Anybody here?
Stan, the representatives are actually on, virtually.
Welcome virtual.
Hello, thanks for having us. I appreciate you guys allowing us to attend virtually. My name is Joel Papsternik. I'm a representative from Pitt, Ohio, and I have my engineer Jamie with me as well.
Yes, hi, I'm Jamie Fiala from BL Companies, and I'm the civil engineer on the project. Just to give you a little bit of an overview, this is for the Pitt, Ohio redevelopment project located at 6640 Transit Road. We have already gotten phase 1 approved, which included the widening of the access road for the snow scraper, a sign at the right of way, and a salt storage shed. So this approval would be for phase 2. Which you can see on the site plan here Dan is sharing. It includes a 4,985 square foot vehicle maintenance shop. That will be a 3-bay shop, and the operations within that shop support the terminal directly. That would not be for external vehicles. It would just be for Pitt, Ohio's use for the trucks that are already at this terminal. With that new building, we will also have updated and new utility connections to the new building from the existing building. We'll have a small realignment of the fence. And just to note that all the proposed impervious area will be within the existing limits of the existing impervious area, with a total LOD for both phase 1 and 2 combined to only be 0.9 acres. So we've worked with Drew and had conversations with the engineering department. So we would not need a SWIP for this, given the existing conditions and the proposed use for that.
Could we see the Earth version real quick and we'll go back to this? I was surprised this is still Cheektowaga land, but as you said, the first phase of the project was approved, and then it occurred to me.
Yeah, we're right on the edge.
Okay, anything else?
No, so that's the general overview there. I just wanted to note one additional thing is that we do need a variance for the size of the shop, and we do understand that. We have a variance submission that will be coming in next week, but that is for the overall size of the shop. So per the ordinance, the shop is allowed to be 5% of the existing square foot of the terminal, and our proposed is about 20%. But other than that, yeah, this would be our overview, and open up for any questions that you may have.
Okay, you answered my first question, and that has to do with the what is described, or what we shall say is a fleet terminal. And you have to address that 5% square foot maximum. So you're gonna need that variance filing, correct? You've agreed to that?
Correct. Yes,
Okay.
yes, we plan to submit by next Wednesday to get on next month's zoning
Okay.
board.
Second question I have, you have 100 parking stalls for employees, separate from the fleet vehicle parking?
Yes.
it's unclear whether you meet the required 100 because isn't there some confusion between parking for the fleet vehicles and parking for your employees? Can you define that now, or do you have to work on that? Because I'm assuming this fleet vehicle is gonna have drivers coming in, correct? Or are you gonna are you gonna have people that are going to be servicing these vehicles?
Yeah, so we will have a maintenance, there will be a maintenance tech that works within the shop, yes. But it will not increase any of the existing truck traffic that we have at the terminal.
Well, I guess it's sort of, again, I'm not giving you a hard time, but we want to make sure that you have enough parking spaces for your employees, current employees, but also for the additional people that are coming in to park to service these vehicles. So can you do the calculations depending on, the breakdown of employees and fleet maintenance people?
Yeah, let me jump in here real quick, Jamie. So, when you reference 100 parking spaces, are you talking about the employee lot in the front and then including all the trailer spaces around the yard as well?
Well, I'm just talking 100 parking stalls, okay? And
Okay.
right now it's for employees, correct?
No, so right now, the only employee parking stalls are in that front lot there. Dan, I don't know if you can show on the south side of the page, just to the east of where our maintenance garage is, where you can see the arrows go right there. That's the employee parking area. All the employees park there, and then all the other spaces around the yard are all trailer and tractor traffic. For our employees right now, we have 30 drivers, we have 9 dock workers. We have 4 office personnel, and then we only have 2 mechanics that operate out of that maintenance garage. And honestly, right now there's only one at a time. We're trying to hire someone else. But so right now we're only looking at less than 50 total employees out there, and they all park in that employee parking area where the cursor is right now.
Okay, because you're gonna have to, because you haven't been before the EAC yet. You're gonna have to make that clear to them, that breakdown of what you just gave me, to make sure that the calculators, I know 100 is a lot, but
Yeah. Yeah,
we
no
still
concern. We'll separate it out for you on the
still
plan.
have to see the numbers to verify the parking spaces,
Okay.
okay?
Yeah, for
A
sure.
couple more questions, the lighting and signage, the electrical site plan, what do you have for lighting for the new project?
Yeah, so all the proposed lights will be building mounted. There was a small delay in that submission. So that will be coming in with our building submission, which is they're submitting tomorrow. So the initial submission said that was going to be included, but we had some last minute architectural changes. So you don't have that plan, but I can get that plan over to you as soon as that building submission comes in. Your team will have that, but that's why there was a delay in that.
Okay, so the question I have is this site plan that we're looking at now gonna be modified with any pole lighting or anything like that? Or is it all gonna be on the building itself?
So the existing lights, so there are existing site lights out there. Those are to remain. We are removing one that sits back behind the proposed building, but all the proposed lighting will be on the building. There will be no new site lights.
Okay. What about additional landscaping?
So we are removing 3 trees and we will be replacing them 1 to 1.
Okay, is this on the new site plan, on this site plan?
It's
Where
on the landscaping plan within this submission.
Okay. So right now, you have to get a variance for the 5% maximum. You have to supply the calculation of the parking stalls for the additional employees and give us that breakdown. You need to finalize and correct me if I'm phrasing this the wrong way, you need to finalize the lighting plan. That's all I can see. I'm gonna open it up to the rest of the board.
Dave, can you show us the overview? Yeah, please,
Yeah, there's no residential impact on this project. When do you plan on starting this project? When do you want to start it?
So our goal right now, if the variance and the plan submission goes well, our goal is to start by like early summer, late spring. And with hopes of having this in operation with occupancy before next winter.
Okay, so we do have some time because I look at projects from two aspects. One, the effect on the surrounding residents, but also time is money for the developer. So, you know, if we push this through, you're still gonna have to wait till the early spring to start breaking ground, correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So right now, I would just assume, I mean, you've got some loose ends to add to this site plan. I just assume table it. I mean, unless, you know, someone else wants to recommend something else, because you do have some time. That way, when you appear before the EAC, you'll have everything finalized. They can issue the neg deck and you come before us for a final recommendation to the town board. You know, you're only gonna lose 30 days at most, you know, if you appear before us in our February meeting. That'll give you plenty of time to, you know, put in place things for the early spring. I don't know what the rest of the board feels, if they wanna overrule it with the contingencies.
Yeah, I agree with you because I think there's a lot that needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, the town planner's comments just sort of make things clear that there needs to be a number, and you did too, Stan, a number of revisions, especially in regards to lighting, so. I mean, would the developer, would you have a plan to reappear with the revisions by the February meeting? Do you have a time frame for revisions?
So as far as revisions go, I guess maybe we should be more clear on that. The only thing that changed was the actual building mounted lights on the site. So the lighting out there all stays exactly the same. The intent was always to remove that existing pole and then just mount lights on the exterior of the building. So there's not really going to be much of a change on that.
Yeah, but you still have to go before the ZBA, which is mid-month, okay?
Yeah.
I don't think you're gonna have a problem, but you never know, okay? I still feel we should table it, but again, I'm open to the rest of the board.
And I'll make a motion to table.
Let me just finish. Hold on, thanks, Dan, but you could get everything all buttoned up at the next EAC meeting, get the neg deck, get them to sign off on it. That way you go before the ZBA with a good, complete package, and then just come before us the second week in February, and you're ready to go then.
Okay. My only question with that, and I think this is probably for Dan, does that do anything with our variance submission? Does having approval for this site plan or recommendation for this site plan affect anything with our submission Wednesday for the variance?
It does not, because your site plan is proposed as is, and the planning board is a recommending body. So in order for the site plan to get approval, your project would need that variance in place. The only time that it would affect is if the site plan were not to be approved by the town board.
Okay. Yeah, just want to make sure as long as that lines up. I mean, I agree with you. We have a little bit of time here, so no concern waiting for the following month to gain approval or recommendation rather.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. It's a good project. It's just, you know, there's a few too many loose ends right now for us to, and the variances, I just want to make sure that's all set. So thank
That's
you.
fair. Yeah, sounds good. So we'll see you next month then.
Yep. Get it
Sounds
all
good.
buttoned up and it shouldn't be a problem.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Okay, are you good with notes?
Yep, I'm good. I'm clear.
What do we got? We got 1730 Dale. The milk guys. How you doing?
My name is Travis Greska from Shine Architectural. I'm representing Upstate Niagara Cooperative.
Let me just interrupt very briefly.
Sure
You have
thing.
not been before the EAC yet, have you?
It's my understanding it's not required for type 2 action.
Correct? Okay, so we can make the decisions tonight then without the EAC?
So just for the record, just so everyone can hear on the video, it is a type 2 action. They do have a variance filing for the height of the tanks. Yeah, they exceed the height limit, for the zoning district. I think they're at 54 or 56 feet and, the max is 50. So that'll be before the ZBA, in February.
That's what I saw. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so we're seeking conditional approval.
Right.
Based on getting that height variance. And you're right, Dan, the height of the tank is 55 feet and the allowable height's 50 feet. So
Well, there were some other questions I have, but go ahead.
sure, so, yeah, let me just introduce the project real quick. So this area in red is what we're looking to do. There's 2 vertical milk silos and 1 vertical cream silo. This will allow UNC to produce organic milk products. It has to be separated from non-organic products. In addition to the vertical silos, we're showing an access corridor. Obviously, the access valves, controls, tanks. And then since we're doing this addition, we're looking to add onto the milk receiving bay. So when they back up tankers and unload milk, that gives them the ability to shut the doors, which is good practice. So really, we're looking at 800 square foot building, and we're changing asphalt pavement to roof, so there's no increase in impervious.
And everything is on site based on your site plan. You're right practically in the middle of your property.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
This isn't meant to be corny, but you don't need retention walls in case something breaks and you spill this all over the place because it's non-hazardous? Okay. All right. You also got a 6,000 gallon raw cream silo, right?
That's correct. Yep, that's the short one.
And a 3 silo transfer annex,
I'm supposed to push it?
353 square foot silo transfer annex.
That's correct. That's basically a corridor right next to the milk silos, just to allow them to access all the valves and controls.
The silos alcove into that annex so we can keep people indoors.
That's fine. I just want to make sure I got, and then after you add the receiving expansion, total building expansion will be 893 square feet.
That's correct.
A nice little project. Well, of course, you got to get the variance for the height, right?
We applied for that today, so we'll be in front of the TV.
There's a question about having enough parking on site. Is there going to be any new employees added?
There's no increase in employees and there's no increase in tractor trailer traffic.
How about the landscaping on site? You gonna add any shrubs or anything like that, or isn't it applicable in this case? It's gonna be all on hard asphalt?
That's correct. Right now,
There's nothing now.
So it's in the middle of the plant now.
Okay.
Landscaping will survive.
And then, anything to do with the lighting? Are you gonna have lighting on these silos?
So, not on the silos themselves, but on the north side of that milk receiving bay, we're adding a wall pack, which is dark sky compliant. So right in front of the door, you're gonna have 5 little candles at the edge of the building.
And there's no residents around this. This is all hotels and hodgepodge of commercial buildings.
Yeah, so to the north, maybe the aerial's better, but to the north as well,
Right,
that's all. commercial.
nothing there.
Yeah, to the west, it's the backside of all these.
Right.
South is that cemetery and east is all manufactured. There's no residents on the wall. Correct.
And then one last question, without trying to be corny again, is there any FAA restrictions as far as the height?
Well, there's taller tanks that are out there, but we're gonna have to definitely reach out to them. I know Dan brought that up in pre-application.
So our recommendation would have to be contingent on you getting the variance and also FAA approval,
If necessary, correct.
if necessary, okay.
You're absolutely right.
All right, I'm gonna open up the rest of the board.
This question is more for Dan Young. I'm gonna read from your planner letter. The proposes does not demonstrate compliance with the town of Cheektowaga comprehensive plan adopted in 2021. I'm just wondering, Dan, if you could go into more detail on the reason for that comment.
Yes, so when it comes to the comprehensive plan, this calls under the future land use part of the plan to see land uses shift towards more of a hospitality, office space, retail centered land uses. With any policy document, there hasn't been changes to the zoning. So our current zoning code is what we have in place. So while oftentimes the comprehensive plan is taken into consideration, there's also an understanding from a town perspective of established businesses, have a need to operate, and sometimes in some instances, expand operations where fitting.
Okay, understood. Thank you. And I just want to just be clear again, you have no plan though for any sort of retention, just in case there's any sort of raw milk spillage, or I know it's not hazardous, but
But
yeah,
there is no plan, no.
okay. Okay, all
Yeah.
right, understood.
So there's 20 existing tanks out there. And
Okay, no, I understand.
Not being corny, but anybody got any questions? I don't know who's on what side here, so has anybody got questions? Okay,
I'm working for all three of these guys.
sir, do you have any questions? Okay. All right, we're looking for a site plan recommendation to the town board contingent on variance approval, height variance approval, FAA review. Anybody want to make the motion?
I'll make that motion.
Haley,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No,
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 one no. 4 yes, so it will be recommended to the town board contingent on those two. The variance and the FAA,
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
okay?
Thanks a lot. Yep, you too.
And that concludes our agenda. We did get correspondence from 397 Cleveland, so check your email, okay? There was some revised civil set, and there was an engineering report. I guess at the town board open hearing, there was questions on traffic. Good night, gentlemen. So I didn't get a chance to review the additional information from 397 Cleveland because they were tabled, so make sure you review your emails for that. Does anybody else have any questions? Any other issues? I make a motion to end the meeting.
That's right. Okay. I second that motion.
Bruce, all in favor?
I,
Opposed? We're closed.
thank you. Hey, Stan. For 1730 Dale, it was contingent on